Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D about to react to this Omizi vid. It's titled Akaash Singh is still delusional about his wife. Wow. All this time later. Let's hear what he has to say now. Let's watch.
The first week this was happening, she goes, you know what, baby? God knows what's true. We know what's true.
That's right.
What else matters? Who cares what anybody thinks? And I was like, I care. What are you talking about? There's a side of me that's like, maybe it's a short guy thing, but I really identify with like Kendrick Lamar, where it's like, if we want beef, I'll destroy everything. I'll burn everything.
Hello?
There's a little part of me that's pretty
we don't want that.
That's like, oh, I don't care about the money. I don't care about whatever. You came on my wife. Let's just burn it all down.
Every once in a while, I like to tap back into videos and past characters that we've covered on this channel. And Akaash Singh is somebody that is just still to this day going through it. He's fallen into the same lane as Will Smith. His
really
relationship went public with his public image, and he got swallowed into the humiliation of it all. He was talking about being attracted to the friend, not really wanting to get married, and a whole bunch of other stuff that even Akaash can admit embarrassed him. And for whatever reason, I don't know why some of these public figures continuously go through these same humiliation rituals on the internet with their significant other over and over again. If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It goes a long, long way. We're almost at 150,000 subscribers. So we'll probably be there by the time maybe you watch this video. So thank you for joining us. Whew, it's been a long journey. Now, back to the video. The problem with the whole Akaash situation is that we've seen this before. This is very, very much like the Jada and Will situation. The reason why we denounced that J. Cole lyric of needing that Jada and that Will love. For whatever reason, these celebrities like Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, Akaash Singh and his wife, when they dabble into the lifestyle / podcasting space, they feel the need to put their private effects of their relationship on Front Street. And if you remember correctly, the audience stopped seeing Will Smith as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or the guy from I Am Legend or Ali from Muhammad Ali. He became this symbol for public embarrassment. Something that even went mainstream up until Will Smith slapped Chris Rock for disrespecting his wife. But now we're seeing that same thing happen for Akaash.
She and I have a relationship where it's like, I don't know what you say. She go, what did I say? I have her location. She has my location. Every time, if you look at 90% of her TikToks on our couch, like she don't go nowhere without me. So I'm like,
Okay, he has it already sped up. Let's stop.
whatever you say, I don't care. I know you. But the internet just ran with it and made it a thing. And at first, it really like to me up.
I wanted to ask you, how did you really feel? Because like I can never gauge, because you are a comic, you're so good at this, you do have thick skin. I have seen, well, like, meaning for the most part, the success that you have had, I don't know, I don't feel like things really phase you like that, so I couldn't gauge.
No, I was deeply phased.
So what hurt you about?
It's just they're saying about your wife, and I think the stuff they say about me will make me insecure.
I do respect that he's honest, though. She isn't. She was online talking, I don't care, I don't give a fuck, da da da, as she kept talking about it. But at least he's being honest and saying, yeah, nah, this definitely affected me.
When you're saying this about my wife and you're calling her all this vile stuff, people were messaging my mom and her mom saying she's a whore, she's this, she's that. It was like, yo, this is crazy how far this has gone. And everything she gets said, y'all are chopping up. And I've probably done this with 1,000 famous people, so I don't knock the people who did it.
Sure.
But it did let me, I think, God is everything for a reason, and I think for me this was God's way. This is how I found out I had some level of fame.
This is recent.
Yeah,
so you're just realizing you're famous.
I didn't know, because people would be like, what was your I made a moment? I was like, I haven't made it. What are you talking about? And now it's like, well, when the whole world called my wife a whore, I realized I'm doing okay. That you made it.
Yeah, for the signal of you being famous being that your wife is getting humiliated, disrespected, and called a bunch of names on the internet, and you too as well by being her partner, I think that's a little bit of a weird thing to say. Akaash became no longer just a comedian on the Flagrant podcast. He literally became the podcast Will Smith. Somebody who was an easy target, a punching bag for what it's worth. And I will honestly say, continuing these, talking tos on these different people's platforms and being this open about it still is not the way to go about doing it. I'm sorry. It's not. I think one pivotal mistake that Akaash makes when he's addressing this situation on Hot 97 is the fact that he acknowledges that these public reactions matter to him. While his wife, who hasn't been a public figure before, and for what it's worth, doesn't seem to continue on to be a public figure since, he still has to live in it. He still has to sit in it. He still has to appear visibly every single day. And honestly, it's eating him up.
This is where I don't like, I wish people knew, and I said this to her before she started doing social media. She's the most like multi-dimensional person I know, where she pops off, says crazy, says disrespectful, but also is so spiritual, so grounded, and so like so sweet, and so like she has so many facets to her. She said on like the first week this was happening, she goes, you know, baby, God knows what's true. We know what's true.
That's right.
What else matters? Who cares what anybody thinks? And I was like, I care. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? But she just kind of kept that energy. She was like, whatever y'all think about me is whatever y'all think about me. I know who I am. God knows who I am. That's it.
And that would make sense. She doesn't have to face the same realities of Akaash. She's not, I don't know, seen on one of the largest podcasts once or twice a week, going on tour.
Yeah, her little podcast flopped. The one she had with the girl because she was coming on to his husband or something like that, right? So it's like, okay, you can completely back away from the internet and be like, you know what? I'm completely logging off. I'm not going to look at nothing. I don't even have to do this for work. I'm going back to my life. La, da, da, da. He has to be on the internet. Like, his job is online. So, and he has to go out and, do his little comedy tour or whatever. people gonna make little slick comments. So he has to continue to deal with, you know, what you put you guys through. Like, he got to deal with that. You don't have to. Like, that's crazy.
Going on these press runs, you know, having a visible face on social media. She can move past the noise, but he can't, because his job is to be visible. I wonder if that conversation was during him saying, you know, hey, these things actually do affect me. I don't like when you say these things. They have a weird relationship dynamic. They probably should go to therapy. They need to take this off the internet. Full stop. Now, I'm sure Akash's wife sees DMs. I'm pretty sure she gets messages, and I'm sure she sees some sort of hate comments, but I think that it's a different level. Being somebody whose livelihood isn't tethered to social media, she's not constantly scrolling for the comment section to see whether people jive with this or not. She's not seeing the 10 out of 10s on YouTube. She's not seeing the mass amount of dislikes. And hell, most of the messages most likely stay in the requests on Instagram and Twitter. And also, with that being said, she didn't build some sort of image. She didn't have a brand or an identity to protect, but Akaash did. And I think that's what's really messed up, is that she didn't take that into consideration at all when she said some of the most outrageous things on the podcast last year. And now Akaash, somebody who has spent hard time building that image up, is now having to face the reality that this is actually pretty impactful on his life.
God is everything for a reason. I think for me, this was God's way. This is how I found out I had some level of fame.
This is recent.
Yeah.
So you're just realizing you're famous.
I didn't know, because people would be like, "I made it," moment. I was like, "I haven't made it. What are you talking about?" And now it's like, well, when the whole world called my wife a whore, I realized I'm doing okay. But you made it. Yeah, that's how I found out. But I think it was just like, I'm watching them say this about her. Y'all don't know her. You're doing it off a 2-minute TikTok. I know this woman, and I read people pretty well. It's kind of like what most of my clips are about. Right. I'm not that big of a moron that a girl would lie to me for 14 years or whatever, 10 years, about being a virgin, and I would not even bother watching her TikToks to find out she talks about it. You know what I mean? Like, none of this, how are we believing this? I couldn't understand it. But I think it was God's way of telling me, you always say you want like a happy, healthy family. You need to know what comes with this fame thing, and I'm just going to decide if you really want it. And I realized I don't really want that. I want to be the best stand-up comedian I can be, hopefully ever. I'll let other, I don't care. If we go to the Met, like, she probably made me. I don't give a fuck on a stupid red carpet with your pic. Like, I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
Akaash kind of hints at it unconsciously, but the fame that he has now acquired is both because of his wife and her comments and his platform that he's built over the past couple of years. But now that image that he has of himself and of the life that he was trying to build is completely changed. Not by ending his career or making some sort of pivot, but by replacing his identity. He used to be known for his comedy, his chemistry on this big major podcast platform, but now the first thing that people think of when they see him is, oh snap, is that Will Smith? The Will Smith of the podcast game? The weakness, the embarrassment, and a bunch of different simp jokes. That's real damage though right there. Now I watched this entire interview, and the more that he tries to joke through it just feels like he's coping. It feels like he's less confident about himself. The more that he goes to explain it, it sounds like he's trying to survive the narrative or find a new way out or trying to make sense of it. But I'm here to tell you, Akaash, the internet doesn't reward that. It turns it into more and more proof, like we're doing right now. And let's be clear, the only reason why I'm doing it is because
if I was him, I would be like, you know what, we moved past that. I don't even need to get into that. We've already gone over that. What's the next question? What else are we talking about? Like, I would not entertain that at all.
This is objectively an embarrassing moment. Something that should have been stopped
because he's already talked about
well before it spiraled out of control, and something that should not be continued to this day. I understand that there's this level of embarrassment that comes to you when people see you on camera, or when you talk about relationship things, or when you just speak about your wife in general. But furthering the conversation is truly not the way to go about this. And now every time we see Akaash, at least for me, I can only think of Will Smith, not from the success that they've had, the skills and talent that they've acquired over the past couple of years, put them on display, marketed them very well, and ultimately became successful in their own respective rights. But the first thing that I and many others think of every time we see them is their relationship. And more specifically, not the relationship in and of itself, but the public humiliation that comes with the relationship. To this day, Jada Pinkett Smith continues to say things about her relationship dynamics with her and Will Smith that have people questioning, why are we hearing this, and why does it seem like her job is to publicly humiliate this man?
I think every summer, all the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a divorce, and Chris he thought that we were getting a divorce. So he called me and he was like, hey, basically he was like, I'd love to take you out. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? And I was like, no. I was like, Chris, those are just rumors. He's like, oh my. I mean, he was appalled. You know what I mean?
Now, also in that moment, two things. As I'm moving forward, I'm also moving backwards. Because what I realized at that moment, I got in my martyrdom bag. And what that is for me is, I I hadn't quite learned how to love myself and not leave Will on the side of the road. And I hadn't learned how to love Will and not leave myself on the side of the road. And in that moment, because I felt so bad that he was in this situation, I decided I'm gonna love you, Will, and I'm gonna leave myself at the side of the road. And I wouldn't have known that that was an aspect that I needed to heal if it hadn't been for my kids, my mother, my friends were so hurt that I had done that to myself.
For a large part of the public, they stopped seeing Will Smith as, the guy from Bad Boys or Men in Black or Pursuit of Happiness or King Richard. He left that movie star identity when the relationship became public. Now he has transitioned into the embodiment of public embarrassment. And even though it's on a smaller scale, Akaash Singh is basically the same thing.
Y'all ever have an orgy together with your husband? Priya, I'm actively trying to have an orgy because this couple is so fucking good looking, and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you fucking see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never decline. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband. No, I kind of love it, but I'm like, us for it. Okay, maybe. I just know.
And if this is him in the hat, girl, no.
That Nav's dick is like, us for it. Okay, maybe. I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches.
Gold digger?
Yeah. Because I invested low and waited for it to go high.
You're a gold prospect. That's not a gold digger.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're like a, what is that? You're like a hedge fund manager.
Yeah, you're like Akaash with Bitcoin.
Exactly. And it's like,
She bought much lower than that. She bought at the bottom.
Akaash, wait a minute, you want to not get married? What happened, bro? You want to be...
Yo, when you locking it down, yo? When you locking it down?
What happened?
Man, I'm never gonna tell the world. I ain't going through that shit. That shit is crazy.
What happened?
I didn't realize we had Akash's picture.
Can I say what I want to say?
Of course, this is what
All
Really
I
Needs
want to
is about.
say is simply this.
Keep your wife off the internet.
motherfucking internet! Why does your wife have a microphone in her face? Do not allow your wife to start a motherfucking podcast, bro.
Yes.
Both Akaash and Will had their images changed, not by something.
I agree. I would feel the same way. Listen, my man want to do something podcast related, or you want to do something social media, you don't know me. Don't mention my name. Don't show me nowhere. Don't show nowhere that we live. Don't include me at all. I'm going to act like I don't know you and you're a crazy person. Who is this? Never met them. Excuse me. Because you're not about to play with me and embarrass me if you say some stupid shit. So I completely agree with that 1000%. I really think that he should get off the internet. No, not off the internet, because his job is on the internet. I think he should stop doing interviews and talking about this, because it just reminds us of this nonsense. But good luck to him and her. It seems like this has really had a major effect on their lives, their relationship, which is crazy because, I'm sure she just wanted to start a podcast and like, oh, he's doing it. I want to do something too, and I'm going to talk about him, and it'll be fine. It'll be cool. I'll be successful. And then look what happened, So it does suck. But yeah, I totally agree. Keep your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, keep them offline completely. Y'all let me know what y'all think though, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.